Today's episode is all about Chronicle. Chronicle is a studio and marketplace digital platform built entirely for fans, featuring officially licensed digital collectibles, NFTs. Today I have the co-founders Tim and Jim here, and we're going to unpack all of the gold nuggets about this hot new marketplace. Discover the recent partnership that Chronicle did to offer NFTs with Animal Planet and Discovery TV. Definitely do not miss this episode. It's action-packed.
Welcome to the New to Crypto podcast, designed to guide you through the crypto landscape with pinpoint accuracy, created for the new and intermediate crypto investor. Join your host, Crypto Travels Michael, as he takes you through the different facets of getting started and succeeding in your crypto journey. New to Crypto podcast brings you new episodes daily, Monday through Friday, with surprise bonus episodes sometimes on the weekend. Let me ask you, are you new to crypto? Don't know where to start? Are you more experienced but have questions? Then you're in the right place. This podcast is designed for you. Coming at you from the Trading Center in the Lifestyle Design Studio, here's your host, Crypto Travels Michael.
Brave Wallet is the first secure crypto wallet built natively in a Web3 crypto browser. No extension required. You can store, manage, and grow your portfolio, get NFTs and multi-chain support. Download the Brave privacy browser at brave.com/new-to-crypto and click on the wallet icon to get started. Check out this interview I just dropped. Today I have the CEO and co-founder here from a hot NFT platform. Definitely listen to this one the entire way through for tons of gold nuggets. The New to Crypto podcast, which currently has listeners in 149 countries and over 3,500 cities around the world. I'm excited to have Tim and Jim from Chronicle here today. Guys, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having us.
Great to be here. Thanks, Michael.
Absolutely. Hey, before we dive in, can you just share a little bit about yourselves with our audience?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. So my name's Tim. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Chronicle. Been into crypto and blockchain, I guess, since the sort of September 2017 bull run. And I've got a background which is, really fan focused in the film and entertainment world. I've done a little bit of work on the digital marketing and digital immersive experience side with Jurassic Park and for the Jurassic World movie and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movies, which came out in 2015 and 2018. And kind of working with a major studio and fan bases across the world, I've always been looking for a way to, kind of tie that in with blockchain. And I think Chronicle is that answer. And I'm really excited to get into it today.
Cool. And hi, everyone. My name is Jim. I'm one of the co-founders of Chronicle as well. And my background is in software engineering, but I stopped coding several years ago and started to jump into more of the business side of blockchain and crypto since 2017. I was involved with several blockchain projects and also crypto VCs like JR Crypto back then. And also I was one of the seed investors for Thorchain and also work with a geospatial technology company in Australia. And also I set up my own crypto investment firm in Singapore. And I think this last year, 2021, after the discussion with Tim and the other co-founder of ours, Amir, and we came up with the idea of Chronicle, and we think is really going to make an impact and a difference to the existing NFT ecosystem and landscape. So I think that's how we started.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing a little bit about yourselves. Hey, we're going to dive into Chronicle and all the different facets of Chronicle, but in a nutshell, can you share with our listeners what is Chronicle?
Chronicle is basically a NFT enclosed ecosystem for brands and fans to connect with this new thing called NFTs. We built Chronicle on the premise that, for the average person to, get into the world of NFTs, you need to understand, first of all, what's Ethereum, what's a MetaMask wallet, how do I get Ethereum? I have to register on an exchange. I have to do my KYC. Then I have to move that Ethereum to my MetaMask wallet, and then connect on a decentralized NFT platform. A little bit of a daunting process for anyone that's kind of new into this space. And we really saw the opportunity to create something that's a little bit of a first step, I guess, for fans and brands to basically get into this world where we basically look after all of the complexity on the crypto side. But we offer a platform where users can simply register via their email address, or a single one-click registration if you're on Google or Facebook. All of the collectibles are kind of nicely presented in the platform for you. You can purchase them with a credit card. And when that collectible is purchased, it stays within your user profile of your Chronicle account. That's really the opportunity that we saw to create something easy to use and simple without any sort of crypto know-how.
Yeah, I think just as Tim said, I think putting, because I'm from an engineering background, so putting an engineering term, Chronicle for now is both a creative studio and also a NFT marketplace. So we help with brands and IPs to help build their kind of gateway to plug them into the NFT world and use NFT as new way of engaging with their fans, and a new way of marketing, a new way for the users of owning something of the brand, or merchants of the brand, the digital merchants of the brands. So they use this new way to connect brands and fans so that we can have generate some added value.
Okay. So Chronicle is a studio and marketplace digital platform built entirely for fans, featuring officially licensed digital collectibles, NFTs. I got that from your content online. So what do you guys mean by Chronicle is a studio and marketplace digital platform? Because our listeners are going to definitely be clicking over to your site. And can we kind of unpack that component, that part of it for them?
Yeah, there's actually two sides to the business, Michael. So what you see if you're, kind of a crypto user and a fan is you're presented with a platform that you can, register on, and you have access to officially licensed digital collectibles from different brands across the entertainment and gaming and toy categories. The other side of the business is that we recognized that a lot of these real world and very well established brands, which have been around for many decades, they're reading articles like people selling a $69 million art piece and NBA Top Shots making, $250 million worth of revenue. And they're like, how do we get into this? But they don't know how. And there's very few companies in the world at this moment that are offering the full, service of, hey, we will take your hand, we'll sit you down, let's go through the whole process. And Chronicle is one of them. And so when Jim correctly states that we're a studio as well as the platform, that's what we mean. So we will actually sit down with the brands and work out a strategy of, hey, what are some elements of your IP or brands that, your fans would absolutely love to, engage with in terms of, if we were to create those as digital collectibles. If the brand has their own art department and they're comfortable with creating the collectibles, that's great. If not, then we have an entire animation team that is part of Chronicle that will do that for them. Such as if you're familiar with what Chronicle's already put out at the moment, we've got Paddington Bear. That was one of the first IPs and brands that we launched with. It's been around for decades. They've had movies, books, cartoon shows. And it was actually the Chronicle animation team which took these really old, when I say really old, but illustrations from the 1970s. Classic, yeah, classic's a better term. And basically
some of us are born in the classic era.
I probably shot my. Yeah, sorry, listeners. But yeah, so we basically took these 2D assets and made them in such a way that they were animated as part of the NFT, almost as if the viewer was seeing them sketched in real time and colored in real time. And those assets were actually from an artist called Ivor Wood. And not many people around the world have actually seen or been able to collect Ivor Wood assets. Typically, the Paddington Bear illustrations are from another artist called Peggy Fortnum. And so this was just an opportunity that we identified for fans of Paddington to be able to get access to something that was a little bit more rarer. So yes, we are a full service offering for the brands with our studio. We also look for ways to add utility to the NFTs as well, which is very important, and that's probably where the future of NFTs is heading now. So we're very conscious of that. We're looking for any kind of way that us as a studio could collaborate with the brand to actually add more utility to these NFTs. One example of that we did was with another brand, Penn and Teller Fool Us, the television show in the US that's on the CW network. And so anyone that had purchased a collectible early on was also given a special access link to behind the scenes content from Penn and Teller. And so that was just another way that we could sort of, look at adding utility to those NFTs. And we did the work on the NFT side, and the CW sort of put together content from their side as well that fans could directly access once they were collecting those NFTs.
Awesome. Thanks for explaining that. I also see in your store that you have puppy bowl NFTs currently available, crypto puppies, if you will. Is this something that you're doing with Animal Planet and Discovery TV, something similar to what you mentioned with Paddington, or?
Yeah, that's right. So we're really excited actually to have launched a collaboration with Animal Planet and Discovery for their 2022 Puppy Bowl. As it turns out, we're actually the first NFT platform in the world that has managed to do something with Discovery and Animal Planet. And we're really proud of that. And one of the main reasons why we were able to get that opportunity to begin with is because of the eco-friendly technology blockchain that we've partnered with, that is Near Protocol and Aurora. But yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity, a fantastic collaboration. We're really excited by it. The actual proceeds from the NFT sales are going to a charity called Orange Twins Rescue, which is a LA-based animal shelter charity that's set up by Ariana Grande and her two friends. And so we're always looking for opportunities with Chronicle to do initiatives for good causes, and anything that can go towards a charity. We're really excited to collaborate in that manner.
Absolutely. No, that's really awesome that you guys are, proceeds from the sales are going to go into that charity. Let's segue into the different components of Chronicle for a moment. In your white paper, you talk about the problem in the beginning and then present the solution with Chronicle. Can you unpack how Chronicle is making it easier for people to sign up, purchase, and hold digital collectibles?
Yeah, I think I can probably begin it from the fan perspective, and Jim really explains it well from the technical perspective. But the way that we identified the problem to begin with was actually a early phone call in I would say around March 2021, where we had a conversation with one of the studios in LA. And it was quite a candid conversation, and we knew that they were looking at the NFT space, and we basically, were asking, hey, what kinds of collaborations would you be interested in? If there was a technology partner, what kind of features would you be looking at to, sort of move ahead with NFTs in this space? And that conversation really got us thinking and began what we know today as the Chronicle white paper. And we really identified some of those things I mentioned early on, how it's really a small percentage of the world population at the moment that not only gets crypto, but actually understands how NFTs work and the process required to get into the space of NFTs. So some of the problems we identified being around the complexity, as I mentioned, of having to store and manage your private digital wallet, being able to get onto an exchange and get access to Ethereum. And some of, obviously what we're wanting to do as well is bring in officially licensed brands from, the world of entertainment, games, toys, etc. And, there is also obviously some, education, I suppose, that has to go into that to bring them into the world of doing NFTs. And so the best way forward is something like Chronicle, which is basically, for the brands, it's a centralized solution with a company that they can work with to onboard their brands into the world of digital collectibles. And from the perspective of the fan base, it's something that they can get into where they don't need, to understand, how does Ethereum work? How does the blockchain work? I can just kind of like a social media network. I can go to Chronicle.io. I can click on register. I can click one-click registration with Google and Facebook, and I'm in. And to purchase a digital collectible, I can use something as simple as my credit card, and I'll have a digital collectible minted, within 30 seconds after purchase. And that collectible is stored in my user profile. So, I log out, I pick up my phone, I log back in on my phone, my collectible's in my phone. Basically travels with your user profile.
Okay. Thanks for breaking that down, Tim.
Yeah, I think just adding up a little bit. So I think the NFT is actually from the Web3 community. It's more like a technology. It's a ownership verification technology based on blockchain. So when you build a business or a product, when you say, oh, this is a product built for NFT or based on blockchain technology, it feels like when it's popular, it feels like, oh, this is Instagram. It's a photo sharing platform based on JPEG compression technology, something like that. So you don't want that user to have that experience because they don't care about the technology that built the thing. All they care is whether the ownership is authentic and then how the digital assets is looking, how digital assets look like. So based on that promise and also the statistics that most of the fans, over 95% of any brands and IPs, we call them non-coiners. They are not familiar with crypto or blockchain or wallet or anything. We don't really want to create that hurdle for these users to come onto a platform and engage with brands, engage with other fans. So that's why we want to remove completely of the complexity of blockchain from the system so that both the brands and the fans can communicate, can engage, can interact with each other purely just based on the content itself.
I really like that. I like how you guys are actually mindful about the simplicity that's needed in the industry, specifically for people that may be new to crypto, which is, a big part of our listener base right here on the show. And no, I think it's great. Let's go into another thing in your white paper. You have a graph, the image, which visually displays the Chronicle ecosystem and how everything ties together. I love it, by the way. It's actually up on my screen. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about that? Because I know we're gonna get into all the different components, if you will, one by one in Chronicle. But can you kind of share a little bit about that?
Maybe Jim, that's yours.
Yeah, sure. I think the ecosystem is kind of initially where Chronicle is trying to build. Now we have some latest modification to it, but the idea still remains the same. That we want to have, first we have a Chronicle store. So unlike other NFT platforms, all the NFTs on Chronicle are officially licensed directly from the brand, which means we have brands that onboarded. It's more like the brands come here and open their own store and they drop their own NFT instead of building an open platform where everyone can come here and mint their NFT. This gives brands more credibility and also it creates a kind of authenticity within the structure. Trying to build like an Apple store. Not everyone can publish an app right away. You need to be recognized as a certified developer or a company, then you can release an app. And the app needs to be verified. The app needs to be reviewed in order to be able to download it by the mass majority. So that's kind of the store section. And also, once the NFT is dropped from the brand and people purchase it from we call it primary market, then we need to have a secondary marketplace where users can interact with each other to trade between them the NFTs. They can trade, they can auction, they can gift, so that we want to have a place to encourage the circulation of these digital assets, because that's the key for NFT is by using the digital ownership verification technology, the assets itself can have better liquidity. I think that's the promise of NFT technology. So we really need to have the second marketplace to encourage the flow. And on top of that, we have other complementary components you see on the chart. And another big part is the Chronicle Studio, where we provide what we call a comprehensive NFT as a service to brands. So it's like we have a huge marketplace. We not only give you a booth, but also we have a team work with you to help you decorate or renovate your booth and tell you how you should market your NFT, how you should project the finance of your NFT, how you should do the animation, how to kind of schedule out the drop of the NFT and all that. We'll provide all that service to the brands so they don't feel kind of left alone and just like purely depending on their own attraction of their own IPs.
Brave Wallet is the first secure crypto wallet built natively in a Web3 crypto browser. What's Web3? Web3 is freedom from big tech and Wall Street. More control and better privacy. But there's a weak point in Web3, your crypto wallet. Most wallets are browser extensions, a Web2 technology. That means the same old risks. App spoofing, phishing scams, and theft. Brave Wallet is different. Brave Wallet is the first secure wallet built natively in a Web3 crypto browser. No extension required. With Brave Wallet, you can buy, store, send, and swap assets, manage NFTs, even connect other wallets and dApps, all from the security of the best privacy browser on the market. Whether you're new to crypto or a seasoned pro, it's time to ditch those risky extensions. It's time to switch to Brave Wallet. Download Brave at brave.com/new to crypto and click on the wallet icon to get started. Awesome. I love that part. I would say that makes you guys unique, in the industry. What are your NFT drops?
Yeah, so NFT drops being on the storefront, and that's currently live at the moment. So when we say NFT drops, what we're basically saying is, hey, we've partnered up with a brand, and there's an officially licensed collectible which is available now for sale. It's currently on our new drops page, and that collectible can be purchased at this moment in time. Typically, when we engage with a brand, we come up with a strategy of what have we identified in their brand or IP that is worth collecting. And then we actually create a series of collectibles based around that, and we create a schedule. And most of our brand engagements are quite long term. We're a relatively new company, but these partnerships that we have are going to be going for at least 2 to 3 years. And so it doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense to us to necessarily drop, let's say 100 collectibles all in one day. We spread them out over a period of time. And, that's basically what we're saying when we have a drop. We have a collectible that's basically ready to collect. And usually it involves just like a physical collectible. And so if you're familiar with like basketball cards or trading cards, we basically set a price point and a number of mintings that are based around that single collectible. And we pick a rarity level as well. So that card could be common, rare, epic, legendary, and sorry, what's the number one, Jim?
We call it immortal.
Immortal, that's right. Immortal. Yeah. We haven't had any immortals yet, so that's why it did take me a little bit while. But immortal is basically a one-of-one collectible, very unique, very rare.
We have that for I'm Your Man.
That's true. We did have that from I'm Your Man. And we also have it up and coming once our auction house opens very, very shortly for Puppy Bowl. Those we will be doing 2 immortal NFTs as well there.
Okay. Let me ask you because our listeners are going to, head over to your site and see everything. And, before they have the question in their mind, maybe we can explain to them, what are your NFT mystery boxes?
So NFT mystery boxes at the moment aren't live, but they're a part of our development roadmap. The idea being quite similar to other NFT drops, if you're familiar, where you basically have a set of collectibles in random, but you don't actually know which one you're going to get when you make a purchase. At present, when we do an NFT drop, you do know what you're getting when you purchase it. But we will be moving to another model where, for instance, there could be maybe 10 different collectibles to collect, or there could be, in the case of some of the, Bored Ape Yacht Club collectibles, there might be 40,000 different unique collectibles to collect. And the point there with the mystery pack is when you make a purchase, that card is revealed to you a post-purchase. And so that's something that we're actively working on at present, as well as discussing with many of the brand partners that also haven't been announced yet. So definitely watch this space.
Okay. So we've covered your Chronicle store, marketplace, the NFT drops, the mystery boxes. Lastly, right here in the little short list is, let's talk about your NFT premium auctions for a moment. I know you kind of touched on it previously, you guys did, but what are your premium auctions?
Yeah, I think the auction is quite straightforward. It's just the model of a sale where the price is not set, and then people will be able to, during the opening of the auction, place their bid of the very rare NFT. Then whoever bids the highest when it closed, then will get the NFT. So it's just like, it's a very, I think, straightforward model. We are exploring different auction models, but I think initially we just implement the very basic auction model.
Okay. And I saw that you chose Near protocol when building. Actually, you guys mentioned it earlier. Can you share with us why you chose Near and how it benefits Chronicle?
Actually, the first reason why we chose Near is actually something that we probably should have mentioned earlier in the call, which was about, one of the complexities of getting people or expecting users to come into the world of NFTs, and some of the adoption barriers is the high gas prices on the Ethereum network. So we couldn't really justify users coming onto Chronicle and paying $20 for a collectible, but then having to pay a $60 gas fee. That didn't really add up. And so we were looking at different blockchain solutions very early on. And, we did have a very nice introduction to Near Protocol through one of our other co-founders. And we very quickly discovered that not only did they have a faster blockchain time, and the transactions themselves were, within just a couple of cents or less, in fact, but they were also working on an Ethereum virtual machine at the time. Something that could basically, work and act just like Ethereum, but you're pointing to a different network that basically runs, much faster than Ethereum, and one thousandth the cost, and that ended up being
initially it's free.
It's initially free. They just actually turned on the
just
gas
a few
payments.
days ago.
Just
a few days ago. Yeah.
But that network is Aurora, and we were actually one of the very first platforms, let alone NFT platforms, using Aurora. We actually were using it back in September. So I think we were probably literally maybe the second or the third platform using the Aurora network, which was, it was just perfect timing, I guess. And that was the first reason. We wanted a blockchain that was fast and efficient and cost. Minimal cost, because ultimately when you think about Chronicle, we're not actually asking the users to pay for the gas fee. We are paying for the gas fee on behalf of the user. And so we just had to ensure from a business perspective that we were choosing the right blockchain. But another component to this is that Near Protocol actually have a carbon offset program, and they have a tree planting initiative with 3 different forests across the globe. And so we identified that as a very good win to be working with a proof of stake network that has a carbon offset program. As it turns out, the brands that we're engaged with, every 99 out of 100 times, the brand is asking about the environment and carbon offset with regards to blockchain, because they've seen a little bit of the criticism, I suppose, on Twitter and other articles, etc., talking about NFTs, and so they just wanted to ensure that if they are going to go into the NFT space, that they are working with a company like Chronicle that is utilizing green technology solutions, which has been fantastic for us. And I would go as far as saying that decision to use Near and to use Aurora, really helped us, get IP properties like Paddington and like Discovery and Animal Planet.
Awesome. Awesome. That leads me into your token, since we covered Near and what you're built on. And I love your tokenomics of 100 million fixed supply for your token. And I personally actually prefer to invest in HODL tokens, which have a lower overall supply. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about your token, what it's called, and then we'll move into the utility and token utilities?
Sure. So our token, Chronicle token, the ticker is XNL. I think we started from like a CNL, Tim, right?
Something like that. Yeah, there was a little bit of internal debate about what our ticker should be.
Yeah,
and whether it was worthwhile starting with an X. Some of the X.
Yeah, I think XNL, to me, it sounded like SNL. This is one of the favorite shows that I like in the US. So later we decided to just name it XNL. And tokens, as you can see, we have 100 million fixed supply, and we started really humble with a very low valuation of $10 million, and we sold 35% of our tokens, private, and the public round. We were heavily oversubscribed for each round, and then we did our public round with our partner DAOmaker, one of the top IDO platforms out there, and we followed that. We did a burning drop, and then we got listed on KuCoin and then Gate.io, and we'll be doing pretty good. Doing pretty good for that. Yeah, and on the token wise. Token utility. The first is we are implementing like various utility, including using XNL as a payment. You can use for DeFi purposes. You can use for auction. You can use for discounts, for basically and also the decentralized governance. Basically, most of the very basic DeFi utilities that people can think of. And on top of that, we tied it together with some of the benefits with the brand's IP and also the NFTs. Say some very limited edition NFTs will be only available via like purchasing with XNL or auction with XNL and stuff like that.
Awesome. And your XNL tokens can also be staked, yes, on the DeFi side. I believe I read something. How can people receive rewards for staking? How does that work?
Yeah, currently we have staking programs with a few partners like Tokens Farm, and also we have staking pools on KuCoin and Gate. Users can either stake like just XNL tokens on there and yield a passive income over the locking up, how long they lock their tokens. Or if you pair it up with USDT or on Binance Smart Chain is BUSD, and then you can stake the LP token, liquidity pool token, and then yield a passive income.
Okay, excellent. Under your token utility, you also have Chronicle Metals. What are they?
Yeah, so Chronicle Metals is we want to create our native NFT, like Chronicle NFTs, and we call it Chronicle Metals. And those metals are built as a recognition for users' sacrifice or their contribution to Chronicle ecosystem. One way to get it is if you stake XNL for a certain amount of time, and then you'll be recognized to have a Chronicle medal, like a reward badge, and you can put it on your Chronicle account to get people know that you've been recognized as a Chronicle soldier, Chronicle general, what have you. And then also, because it is an NFT, it has liquidity, you can trade it on the secondary marketplace so that you can monetize on this Chronicle medal as well. If people think that Chronicle medal will increase in value, they can invest in it as well. So that's how basically the logic in there. So far, the secondary marketplace it is fully developed, but we haven't released it yet because we are waiting on some kind of paperwork on the compliance side to be completed before we can really push that functionality out. And right after that, we will have Chronicle Metal and also Chronicle Auction, all that be released to the platform.
Awesome.
I was just going to add to what Jim was saying. I suppose for our listeners, trying to conceptualize that, if you think of a video game like a Call of Duty or something, and you play it for hours, and then you kind of see your level and your progress go up from like a level 1, level 2, level 3, up to like level 50. Imagine kind of being able to separate that from your user account as an NFT and then sell that in a marketplace. That's kind of the concept that you can begin to conceptualize around the Chronicle metal system. It's something that will attach itself to your user profile. It can be traded, and it basically allows people to sort of see where you're at in terms of the ecosystem, but it also entitles you to many different perks within the Chronicle ecosystem as well.
Awesome. I really like the Chronicle metals and also your guys' creativity in designing your entire overall platform and all the different facets of it. I see you even have a charity component where XNL tokens can be used to donate to charity partners. Who came up with this idea, man? This is great.
If you think of a charity, the thing is, especially in the US, you have like VOA and all that charities. People donate, or even like a religious charity, people donate, and then in return, they got maybe a T-shirt, a pen, or a notebook. So it's really not something, the return, the recognition is not something that's really costs a lot of money, but is a good thing that the charity would give you for your contribution. So we can turn this into a digital recognition. Basically, you have an NFT attached to your donation or your purchase of a charity NFT. So we want to use that as kind of intrinsic value for the NFTs. That NFTs are not only for how they look really cute and then I want to collect them. The value is not only in the rarity, but also is something more that you can do good to the society, and then you use this NFT as a badge to show on your social media, or even just display for your own eyes that I have made this contributions. I have made contribution to this charity, that charity. And I think that's the kind of the mindset we want to give people to. And XNL, we really want to just use XNL specifically for some charity actions to tie XNL value with the charity or with the idea of doing good to not only the environment, but also the humanity as a whole.
Yeah, I really like that. Thanks for unpacking that more. Actually, listening to you share that actually sheds more light for me on the overall charity component over just, say, for example, reading it. So, guys, in closing, what does your roadmap for 2022 and beyond look like?
Goodness. Certainly, it's a lot. I don't think we've updated that white paper for a little while. We probably should, because the roadmap at the moment, it goes, it's pages long in terms of some of the functionality. And I could probably touch upon some of what Jim just mentioned a short while ago, that we have actually partnered with Circle as our crypto payment integration partner for Chronicle. And that will be going live within a matter of days. So the secondary and everything that's tied with that will be going live at the same time. So secondary marketplace, auctions, user balances, that first and foremost is what's going to be going live. And I think from after that, we're very interested in kind of more the XNL integration as well as the gamification of the system. So for instance, if I want to use XNL to purchase some collectibles, can I do that? And then what incentives are there for me to do that? Such as maybe one thing that we're certainly looking at is a significant discount if you're purchasing collectibles on Chronicle with XNL as opposed to USD or USDC fiat. The other thing as well is things like being able to make a purchased NFT collectible in Chronicle my user profile. Things like that. We spoke a little bit about the mystery box idea. And then there's also roadmap development that the brands want as well. So there are brands, for instance, that might want it so that some of the NFT purchasing behavior is a little bit gamified. So maybe if I purchase, 2 NFTs as an example, I might be able to fuse those NFTs burn them and create a new collectible from that. And so these are some of the concepts that we're talking with a lot of brands as well.
Man, I think that's great. We'll have to have you back on the show and do video for the future once you guys roll out some of what you just mentioned.
For sure.
Is there anything else you want to share before we conclude here?
Yeah, I just want to tell everyone to stay tuned, and we have a lot of good stuff coming out with Chronicle this year, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys interact with us.
Awesome. Hey guys, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming out here to the show and joining us, and you guys are welcome back anytime.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Hey, if you liked today's episode, definitely like and subscribe to the podcast, show your support, and chime in here tomorrow for another special episode. Until then, make it a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to New to Crypto Podcast. If you liked the episode, be sure to follow and subscribe. You can listen to every episode on all major platforms. Have an interest in being on the show or want advertising? Reach out at newtocrypto.io. Head over to our site, newtocrypto.io, to access the resources mentioned in each episode. Until next time, remember to navigate the crypto landscape with pinpoint accuracy.